Hello, hello, hello. How are you all? Once again, I have turned this on and forgotten to light my mosquito coil thingy. And I know if I don't do one, I'll get eaten alive by biting insects. So bear with me for a moment while I... And of course, I can't get coordinated. How have you been? I've been going to come on for the last couple of days, 2 or 3 days, but the weather here is just, I mean, it's been worse over the years, but it's just, it's so hot and humid and uncomfortable, and I don't have, my house isn't insulated because I don't own it, and it is, I don't have an air conditioner that works, so it gets ridiculous, and my dog is really affected by heat and cold, so she's not coping, and she's gone into season in the last couple of days as well. So the poor thing, we've been trying to find a cool spot for her, and we can't decide if it's in the house, out of the house, under the house. It's just ridiculous. I thought I'd been complaining excessively about the weather, but I watched a video yesterday, a YouTuber who lives in Sydney, which is about an hour and a half's drive from here, I suppose. And she's been saying the exact same things. It's just gross. It makes you feel so fatigued and tired, and you know, you just want to sleep but you can't, and you don't sleep at night because it's so hot and uncomfortable, and I'm grateful that I have a home, but the weather has been challenging me a bit, I must say. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do today. I'm still working on Needlebooks, obviously. I'm just so indecisive about them. I've done this piece which I'm not convinced I will use. So I've been tossing up whether to put this in this needle book as a page. I'll tell you what, I don't know about you, but I really struggle to get these needle books together, you know, what to put in them, how to order them, once I don't know how to explain it. I get to a point where it just suddenly falls together, but I'm not at that point yet. And while I'm trying to get to that point, it's really challenging me. I'm going to have to wash that. See that? See that line across there? That's from my bloody iron. I need to get a new iron. The amount of times I've ironed things in the last week and it's spat out crap like that. I'll tell you what, if any of you have any secrets on how to care for your iron, throw them at me, because I have purchased, in the last 2 or 3 years, I think I've gone through something like 10 or 12 irons. I've bought really expensive ones, and pack it in on me within 6 months or so, or usually just over the 12 months, the warranty period. Then I thought, bugger that, I'm sick of buying these really expensive irons that are hundreds of dollars, only to have them die on me. So I went and bought a heap of cheap ones. I think I got 2 for $10 not that long ago. And they're good irons, they work, they do the job. But no matter what iron I use, they don't tend to last very long. And they end up spitting out this horrible dirty shit, and I wonder if it's because I use starch. That's the only thing I can think of. I starch all my linens with a vintage starch. I've got a box from the 50s that I've been using. I'm actually searching for another box because I'm running low. But so this is where I'm at with this one so far, and again, not convinced about this piece of orange lace that I've dyed yet. So I've got that one. And then I've got this piece of salvaged linen that was given to me as a piece, which I really like. And I've lined that with Doctor's flannel. I've got a vintage, a folded hexagon that I made from vintage fabric. And then that's all I've got in that one so far. And again, I'm not entirely convinced it's a goer yet. And I don't know why I find it so difficult to choose what to put in these. And once again, as I'm going through these textiles, everything's covered in dog hair again. Okay. Poor girl, she's having a rough time at the moment. She's only in season. Haven't had it desexed yet for a couple of reasons. The first one is when she was a baby, when we bought her home, we stopped at the pet shop to buy, because I didn't know I was getting her, she was a gift. So it was a surprise the day I got her. So we stopped at the pet store on the way home and bought a heap of stuff for her, bowls, bedding, you know, food, whatever we needed. And they didn't say anything to me at the time, they didn't say anything until months later, but the people that managed the pet shop said to me later, we were so worried about this puppy when you brought her in, she was so unwell. And I didn't realise how unwell she was. I mean, she was filthy dirty. I gave her a bath when we got home. I took her to the vet that week, and we established pretty quickly she had some sort of digestive issues, as well as serious vitamin and mineral deficiencies. So her legs were growing really bowed, her front legs. So I had to put her on calcium supplements and multivitamins and probiotics and all sorts of things. Then we eventually discovered that she was allergic to red meat. And then she was allergic to gluten. So we had to eliminate all that from her diet and go. It's been a challenge. It took nearly 2 years to get her to the right place where we found out what she can and can't eat. But because of her growth issues and whatnot, the vet said it's not advisable to desex her in the regular amount of time frame before she's 6 months old, because she's not going to grow properly. She's a Great Dane and she needed that growth, you know. So he wrote a letter to our local council explaining that he recommended she not be desexed for 2 or 3 years so she can get all the hormones and that she needs. So that's what we've done. She's just turned 3. I booked her in to have a desexed about nearly 12 months ago, and she fell ill, so they wouldn't do it. What was wrong that time? I can't remember. She's had parvovirus. She's she was bitten by a rat, so she had to be treated for that. She ended up with an infected eye from when we went camping. Got a grass seed in it. So I was hoping to book her in around now, but she's gone into heat, which I sort of knew it would happen around now. So when this cycle's finished, hopefully we're going to book her in and get it done. But I'll tell you what, she's such a good girl. She, at the moment, has to have medicine every morning for her anxiety and panic attacks. And I give her a food because I don't give it to her on an empty stomach. And I say to her, time for your medicine, and I have the tablets in my hand. And the vet wanted me to just put them in a food, but she won't take it like that. She spits it out. But if I tell her it's time, she'll sit down, open her mouth, and lets me throw it down a gullet, and it's done. It's over with. It's not, I mean, obviously she doesn't enjoy it, but she doesn't stress about it. She just lets me do that. And then now that she's in season, because she's an indoor dog, I put like a nappy on her with a liner in it, and she's such a good girl. I say to her, come and get your panties on, and she turns around and backs up to me and lets me thread a tail through it and put her panties on. And if I don't put them on her, she gets so upset because she knows she makes a mess. But she's such a good girl, honestly. I did another page for this, but again, I'm still not convinced about it. I can't find where I've put it. Where is it? That's interesting. I think I'll put this in one of them. I'm not sure if it will go in this one or not. This is another bit I was thinking of putting in one of them. Where's that other page I've done? Oh, I've done this one, and I'm still not convinced about this. I did this one to put in this needle book, so I'll show you. So this is the bark cloth one, and so far I've got the inside pocket with the little strawberries, and the wool, and I'm still not convinced I like this wool edge that I've done. I think it's too bright, the pink, it's a bit much. Then I've got this that I'm not convinced about for two reasons. A, it's quite bulky, especially down the middle there. And B, because I did this was an idea from Kathleen. I did this so we can, and I apologise if you've already seen this, I have spoken about it before. Secure it with a button somehow so this can be opened and closed as a little pocket on both sides, but one side doesn't close equally. So that's another thing that's been putting me off. So yes, I'm not sure about that one. And then I've also done this to put in one of them, little folded hexagons. And I can't find the other page I've done. I did, here it is. If you've been watching, I did the piece of linen with the lace bit in it, and then I did stitch that green edge around it, and I wanted to add some embroidery to it. So yesterday I did this little, it's not the best, and I tell you what, I really struggled to see inside. My eyes were not working, so now that it's out here, it's not very tidy, which is very frustrating. So I just free-handed that onto there, and stitched it on, and I'm still not sure whether I want to put something on that side. So this one was going to go in here, and again, I'm not sure what order. Possibly here. I've done this edge, this blanket stitch, and I can't tell what's the front and what's the back anymore. But I did want the pink facing that way. So possibly like that. But then, is that too much white to open up to? Oh, this drives me bananas, trying to work this out. And then the other thing is, I can't decide what doilies to put in, how to put them in, you know, like should I do something like that and create a pocket like I did in the last one? Why is it so difficult? I just can't get the look I've got. Like I've got this idea in my head which I'm not clear on what that is myself, so I just can't seem to pull it together, which is very frustrating. I want more frilly bits exposed too. So I have been sort of trying to design some of my own. I left that inside. I've drawn some designs to put on some linen. Just stitches. I tried to draw a Sydney Harbour Bridge to stitch on one, but I need to reassess that because it hasn't, it doesn't look fabulous. So I like frilly bits to hang out. There's a lot of white there happening, isn't there? Yeah, so I've got the orange one I'm working on. I've got the pink one I'm working on, the pink bark cloth. And I've got the purple and blue aqua teal, whatever you want to call that. Blue, I think it's more aqua maybe. So I've got that one, and there's a couple more that I haven't finished stitching yet. This one's a lot larger. Of course these are much more modern, the ones I've been painting, and so those two as well. I thought I had a couple more. Maybe not, maybe yeah I do, I have a blue one somewhere. Here we go. So I've got the blue one that I haven't even started stitching yet. And this Sanderson that I've started. So there's a few in the works there, this is the bit I find easy, the stitching the covers. It's trying to get all the bits together to put inside that I struggle with. So they're bits that I've chosen to put in. Some of them, this is a, started to make a pocket, was too big, so I'll set that aside. That was just a, well, I was going to say scrap piece, but none of it's really scrap, is it? Got that piece. Of course, this folded hexagon, this piece, they're all parts of the books. There's another one I was going to utilise, possibly like, these are a bugger to line up sometimes, because if I go straight in half that way to make a pocket, that will be sewn down the seam and we'll lose it. So I try to sort of offset it. So if I do it that way, in theory I should be able to get 2 pockets out of that, and the fold will be, the spine will be down there, so that will be on one pocket and then a dot on that, and then we can use this half, which will have a little bud. So that's another potential. What else was I doing? I've already I got up early. Well, wasn't that early actually, because I didn't sleep. Got up, attended to Miss Willow, brought her out to the toilet, got her breakfast, gave her her medicine, changed her panties, put her other ones in the wash, hung out a load of lace that I had washed the day before, and I was planning on being out here early before it warmed up, but that didn't happen. But that's okay. I still haven't finished. I don't know if you were watching earlier, quite a few videos ago. I started stitching this little tray cloth. I haven't obviously finished that. There's those marks on it I haven't noticed before. I'm just looking, I thought I'd done that with a single strand. I've actually used 2, so that's going to be a bit bulky. But I've started that one, and I've been using these as templates for when I'm designing other ones. So I just use my pencil, lay this on my drawing pad, and use my pencil just to go in these holes, these perforations, to get the shape and size. And as I said earlier, I left that inside, sorry, so I've got a couple of different shaped ones there, and I do plan on stitching all these. Got this one. This one had, someone had started to stitch it in black, and I didn't like it, so I undid it. This nasturtium, now you might notice this one's blue, and the reason it's blue is because I soaked it. It was heavily stained, and most of the line work came out, so I've traced over it so I can see it. The same with this one. This one's very fine. So I've got those that I'm working on as well. Just putting them back in their plastic to try and keep them clean. Then I've got this one I've been working on. And I realised later I've soaked this one a couple of times, and the same thing happened. The tracing washed out, so I drew over it, and then I realised I've been stitching on the back instead of the side that I've drawn over. What a goose. So yeah, I ended up with a single strand. I went over this Italian hem stitching thing just to sort of, because I did that blue crochet edge as well. It had the white bit there already, but I thought it needed something else, so I've added the blue in the variegated with a vintage crochet cotton. I've been stitching this, pretty sure I've been doing that with a single thread, yeah, single strand of DMC. And yeah, that's where I'm up to with that one. I have to keep putting them down because sometimes my eyesight, I just can't focus, even with my glasses on. But I was watching something yesterday where this lady reckons she's some sort of doctor. She reckons you can do these exercises to repair your eyesight. I started looking it up, and I do most of the things she suggests anyway, and I can't say it's repaired. One of the things she suggests is to not wear your glasses as much as possible. And then, of course, a lot of hand-eye coordination, so throwing balls and catching them without glasses on is supposed to be good. Eating healthy and, things like that. But yeah, I can't. I still can't get my eyes to work well. I was going to... I'm just looking for some fabrics. I was going to do some hexagons, but I think I mentioned this the other day. I collect these pretty little fabrics lately, and then I don't want to cut into them. I mean, they can't sit there forever being pretty. I'm digging for these bloody papers and they're right in front of me. So, again, someone else I was watching on YouTube yesterday, and I should have paid attention to who it was. I'm sorry, I can't. It was the same lady in Sydney, does English paper piecing, and she's not long finished a very pretty little pieced needle book, and she'd done hexagons on it. So I thought I might make some hexagons to add to my little, not the same way she has obviously, because she's done the whole front cover, or most of the front cover. Here's another thing I've done. I crocheted around this hanky. It's actually much chunkier than I thought it was. And this was going to go in. I did this to put in this needle book, to put in the orange one. I'm not convinced I like the colours though. In this one. So that's what else I've done for that one. If I don't keep all the bits together, I forget what I've done. Gee, it's warming up out here now. It's supposed to get up to about 38 degrees Celsius today. I'll have a look and see what it currently says. It's usually, no, I won't have a look, I'm sorry, because if I do that, I'll cut you off. What was I going to say? I can't remember. I'm just looking for some fabrics. I just found more needlebook covers I've started too. Good job. Right. So now I've just got to decide which fabrics I want to do some of these hexagons with. I'm just thinking, I've got some pre-cut. That I've been doing larger hexagons with. I don't know whether I should use those first before I cut into these. I suppose I could do some pink ones for the pink. Let's have a look over here first, shall we? I probably should have been more organised, hey? I thought I knew exactly what I wanted to do, but clearly I keep changing my mind. There's some more folded ones I've done previously. There's some of my vintage ones from Beck. Okay. Here's some of the pre-cut pieces. Now these pieces I got at a second-hand shop a couple of weeks ago. But I've been using those to do these larger hexagons. Let's have a look here. Some of these colours I'm not fussed on, like these. I'm not sure about them. I'm not convinced they're... I'm trying to use colours that could potentially be like reproduction feed sack prints. I mean, that could, I'm not sure, I haven't seen any like that, but these other ones could potentially pass. They're too modern, they're too modern. Oh, we don't want those, they're too modern, I think. So, this one is that red one, that's in that pack. 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 That's from a different pack, that one. That's in that pack. I hear my lovely neighbours are at it again. That's from another pack. That's from another pack. Not that it matters, I guess. I've got to get my head around. It doesn't matter if I get them from different collections. Okay. So these ones, not those ones. These ones are all from the, and of course, it's not here, so I can't tell you. Oh, here it is. These are all from the Ditzy Garden bundle. These ones. These ones are from, that must be Nana May bundle. But the bundle, Nana May bundle I have has some different ones in it, which is alright. And then I've got these pretty, what's this one? Lilac Meadow. So, thinking, of course there's no pinks in there, and I wanted pink, didn't I? There's a pink. I'm just thinking, sorry guys, I can't decide. I just had a thought. I think they're going to be too big. I was just thinking about putting some strawberries on some of these. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, this has actually got a template. Huh, I didn't even realise that. Oh, they will fit. That will fit, look at that. Maybe I'll do some of those. Okay. I can't remember where I bought this kit from, this pack. I've had it for years. I'll have to see if I can get some more because I quite like this one. If any of you know where I got that from. I thought, because it's Japanese, I thought I might have got it from Daiso, but it's also got a $5 label on it, so it wasn't from Daiso. Okay. Now I have cut into this already, so I'm looking for the edge I've cut into. Here it is. It's not big enough. Now the tricky bit is to make sure when I place it on the paper, I've got it centered. Okay, let's see how we go with this to start with, shall we? I don't recommend cutting upside down like this. It's not it's not the easiest way to do it. Once again, if you're commenting while I'm doing this, I apologise. I I can see the screen today. I've set it up so I can see it in case you are commenting. But I've been that focused on what I'm doing, I haven't seen anything. I apologise. Now I don't often use glue, but I'm going to this time because I want to make sure I have... Oops, that's way too much. There is specific proper sewing glue to do this with, but I've run out. So I'm just using, hang on, I'll show you in a minute when I get this in the right spot. I'm just using like bow stick. I usually use the yellow tube, what's it called? I'm just finger pressing this now. You'll probably notice too, my nails are a bit scungy. I had a funeral last Thursday and I wanted to look a bit tidy because I don't often look tidy these days because I'm in the garden or on the truck or something, but I wanted to make a bit of an effort, so I put some nails on, and they're just press-ons because I don't want to damage my fingernails anymore. I'm trying to grow them. And my son's girlfriend bought me this really impressive nail treatment which works incredibly well. It's the best product I've ever used, but it's that good. My nails no longer split, peel, crack, but if I knock them too hard they shatter. So I've just put some press-ons on, and as I was setting this up earlier, one of them fell off finally. I'm surprised they've lasted as long as they have. What day is it? Monday. So I put them on Wednesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Wow. Very inexpensive press-ons I've had in the cupboard for 18 months. I think I paid $2 for them. So I was impressed with that. Okay. I need to find a finer needle so I'm not damaging these templates as much. Wow, these smaller ones. I've got even smaller ones again. That will be a bit more of a challenge, won't it? I like to make sure the edges are nice and tight against that paper, because the ones I got from the second-hand shop, the op shop, a few weeks ago, I've had to go and I'm just trying to see if there's any here that I haven't done. They look like they're all ones I've done. I've had to go and redo them because they weren't tied up against the edge, and when I went to sew them all together they warped. They weren't nice and square, so to say. I've been saying for a while now I was going to start doing some tutorials to share, but I still haven't done them, and I was also thinking I should ask you guys if there's anything you'd like me to do. What sort of tutorials would you like to see? Now, a lot of people when they get to this last side, they just fold it down. I like to, it's going to be a bit harder on these small ones. I like to tuck this side in so you can't tell where I started and where I finished. And then in the end I end up with a more consistent lay. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Just pulling that in nice and tight. So don't end that off because it's just a tack-in. So I don't know if you can see, probably should show you on a larger one. All of my edges fold under each other in the same direction. So there's no final point that sits on top. It's not going to focus, the rotten thing. No, sorry. I can't get that focus happening. I'll try and show you on a larger one what I mean. Let's have a look here. Oh crap. I just knocked a pot plant into the... Where's those other colours I had? No idea. Oh, I'll just choose one of these then. Okay, let's see if I can show you what I mean. A little bit of glue. I haven't been using this. This is the first time I've used the glue in a very long time. Okay. Get my needle and thread. Just tie a little waist knot in the end. And actually I might start on this side. Making sure that's nice and firm. Sometimes I do like a double back, I don't even know how to explain it, to secure those a bit more, but I think this is working, just the one stitch, and I don't like to put many holes in the card either, it wears out quicker. Okay, so this is what I mean. Most people, when they get to this last side, they'll just fold it down like that. So you've got both edges on top. Does that make sense? So what I like to do is fold this side down, secure it. And then this last corner, I use my needle to tuck it under. Nice and firmly. Make sure that's nice and firm up into that point there. And then secure that last bit. So hopefully you can see better with that one. It's still not going to focus very well. Every fold is on top in the same direction, so it's an equally distributed, if that makes sense. So then in the long run you should have nice, equally distributed, weighted hexagons. So it does make a difference when you sew them together. Not a huge amount of difference, but when you're doing a lot of them, it all adds up. So let's go back and look how that little strawberry turned out, shall we? Isn't that cute? I think I'll have to do some more of those. Let's do another strawberry, hey? Yeah, let's see if we can fit a double strawberry on. I've cut that one too close, so I won't be able to do that one. Don't think I'll be able to get that one in either. That edge is too close. Let's have a look. Well, that will fit. There we go. It's a little short on that edge, but not a huge amount, so it should still work. I'll tell you what, I like this template for fussy cutting. I'm going to have to get me some more of those. I'm just cutting it out on my lap, guys, if you're wondering what I'm doing. I'll tell you what, I've been complaining about the warmth and the humidity, and sitting here right now, it doesn't feel too bad. It's warm. I'm not ridiculously uncomfortable, but this is gross. There's actually sweat dripping off me at the moment, so it must be warmer than what I realise. I'll tell you what as well, I'm in the fire brigade, and we've had so many fire calls. Most of them are strikes, so we're travelling, we're going away. There's a section 44 being declared in, I think, Bulga, which is about an hour or so drive from here. I've put my needle down and I can't see it. Oh, I found it in the bag. It fell off. Okay. But I haven't been able to attend because I don't have a car, and I have to find a sitter for Willow And apart from that, we've only been taking the Cat 9, I believe, which is only fits the driver and one other person, so. But I believe there are quite a few fires burning again, which can be a good thing in some instances. And when I say a good thing, I mean as far as our native flora goes, a lot of our plants need fire to survive, to regenerate. If the fires aren't burning hot and fast, the animals get time to escape. So what we're learning and what we're starting to train is indigenous burning methods when we're doing hazard reduction burns, which is really cool because we put them in low and slow. They take a lot longer. They can take a week or more to burn instead of a day or two like they normally do. But I'm all for it. I'm happy to get out there for a week to do one hazard reduction if it means the wildlife has time to escape. So it's incredibly interesting. We just let the fire trickle in on the ground very slowly. But the fires we're attending at the moment are not hazard reductions. They've either been lit or they've been started by, potentially out there, lightning strike. We don't do hazard reductions this time of year because it's too risky. I can't get that to tuck under. And they're good too because some of the areas, especially now that there's so much residential built up, which I don't like, but what are you going to do? Because there's so much residential build up now, the fuel builds up in the existing bush, which makes it incredibly dangerous if lightning strike or a fire's been lit or something. Oh, that's very cute. Now what fabrics can I do with those? I suppose it doesn't really matter. I'm overthinking it, aren't I? I'm just scanning around me to see what I have. I'd like another cup of coffee. I just spotted this petite pan. Pick up your buffhead. Well, that's a bit cute, isn't it? Maybe I can do a couple of those. I should try and buy more of this, I think. I'm dreadful. I've told you before, I just don't like cutting new fabrics because I like to look at them. They're so pretty. Look at that pink neon. Well, it's the same colour in the centres there, but look at that. I can get a few out of this. We got the orange, the pink. That's too close to the edge. What about up here? Let's try that one. Right up in the middle of nowhere. This is the only problem with fussy cutting you tend to waste a bit of fabric, which irks me a bit. I guess it depends what goal you're aiming for, doesn't it? What else can we fit here? Hopefully I'm not out of your sight, guys. This must be incredibly boring. Let's see if we can get one of those. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I like that one, but I want that pink one. No, I thought I might be able to manipulate that to save these two big ones, but it's not going to happen. Okay. Goodness, listen to those dogs. Can you hear them? Someone was yelling at them earlier to shut the cup. I was hoping I might be able to squish that. No, it's not going to happen. Maybe. Wonder if that'll work. That edge is a bit short there, but might be able to get away with that. Okay, I've got 4 there. Let's see how we go with that. That one's very short, that side. Hopefully I can use it and not waste it. How have you all been over the break? I guess I don't think you guys, do you guys in America have holidays now? I don't think you have your big school break like we do you? I know my daughter's still off work sick, and now she's got that bloody gallstone issue that they still haven't addressed. The doctors still haven't addressed, and she's missing so much work that it's becoming very stressful. My son starts a new job. I'm not sure if it's tomorrow or Wednesday. I'll have to check with him. Pretty sure it's not today. I hope it's not today because I haven't messaged him. Him and his girlfriend went camping on the weekend with their brand new rooftop camper, and they bought a new little, is it a Weber Q? They've got a couple of Webers now. I was sceptical about them. I didn't think it was necessary to pay that much money for a kettle barbecue. And we ended up buying a cheaper one, which ended up not being that much cheaper a couple of years ago. But after using the Weber, I wouldn't mind getting one myself now. I think I'd possibly one I can take camping. Not that I've been camping for a while, but it'd be good to have it set up here on the veranda like I used to and cook my dinner on it. Not that I have a lot of meat. I don't usually eat meat. but I could cook other things on it. So yes, he starts his new job. What else has been happening? My aunt is not well. She's in hospital. She starts radiation therapy. I can't remember when. Today, tomorrow. She had her tattoos done Friday, I think. A couple of friends and family have lost loved ones over Christmas, which has been bloody dreadful. So I've just been at home, not doing much of anything except stitching and cleaning and organising, and I know I need to get on top of my garden and my lawn again, but it's just too bloody hot. A lot of the plants are dying because it's so hot and dry again. Okay. Oh, I tell you what, this is lovely fabric. I was thinking last night, these fabrics I've been buying, these packs, they're quite a bit cheaper than these petite pans and the Liberty and whatnot. And I was thinking, they're really good. I bought them half price too when the sale was on. I was thinking they're really good quality fabrics, you know, considering how inexpensive they were. But now, feeling this petite pan, the quality of this compared to these spotlight ones, it's like chalk and cheese. This is beautiful fabric. Oh, you know, I'm going to have to try and get more of this now, don't you? Probably doesn't hurt that I can feel, pretty sure it has sizing in it, which is helping with the folding, which is sort of like a starch, I suppose. People will often wash the sizing out before they use it, but I like to leave it in. I'm going to push that fingernail off in a minute. Oh, I'm pretty sure the temperature just increased by another 5 degrees. It's dreadfully warm now. Okay, this is where it gets a bit tricky, especially on these little ones. Get up under there. There we go. These petite pan fabrics I've got are from Beck at So Be. I haven't been into the new store yet. It's not that far away from me, but I haven't had an opportunity to go in. It looks stunning though, which I wouldn't expect anything less from Beck, to be honest. Oh, look at that. That's quite vibrant, not quite as scented as I would have liked. our poor friends in Canada still can't get their mail. I thought a couple of the businesses, their mail was getting through, but I heard last night that they're not even able to mail yet, which must be so frustrating for you guys in Canada. I can't quite work out the logic behind Canada Post holding off on deliveries. I understand they've got a backlog that they need to get through, but once they open up again, isn't that just going to cause another backlog? Like, I don't know. Imagine once they open it back up again, how crazy it's going to be for them to sort through all the... Everyone's just going to rush to the post office to post their parcels. I know I will be, and I know other people that will be. Get up in there. There we go. Okay, there's a few more people on now, so while you're here, as I mentioned earlier, I've been wanting to do some tutorials for you guys, but I'm a bit undecided on what to do, so throw some ideas at me. Oh, look at that one. Let me know if there's anything you'd like me to do tutorials for. I was going to do some painting today. Haven't done any for a while, but a friend of mine lost her husband over Christmas, and when I contacted her, she's in a different country, to see if there's anything I could do. All she wanted was some of my hand-painted hearts that I do. And I've got a jar full because I like to sit and paint. It's very relaxing and calming. And then I cut them all out, fussy cut them all. So even though I've got a parcel full to send off to her, I was going to paint some more, and I thought you guys might like to watch me do that, something a bit different instead of stitching. And one of the reasons I didn't is because I think I'm out of watercolour paper. Now this is the one that had the sides, the corners cut out, because I tried to not waste as much fabric. So let's see if this is actually going to work and not fall apart. It's a little bit more fiddly with that short side and that corner missing, but oh, come on, get up in there. Come on. It's not going to go because I've got a stitch there which is stopping it. So just going to trim this off a little fraction. Hopefully that will get it past that basting stitch now. Yep, there we go. That fixed it. might even finish this video up and come back later today with some painting, maybe. If I can find some paper. And the hearts that I do, I use them in journals when I make them, but I often slip them in letters, parcels. There's lots of things you can use them for. I wonder if there's enough cotton left on here to do this last one. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, if you've just joined us, I'm just doing some little hexagons that I'm planning on using in some of my needle books that I'm making. I'm not exactly sure how yet, but we'll get to that when we cross that bridge, hey? And as I mentioned earlier, I like to, when I get, oh, that went back through my finger. When I get to this last edge, I don't just fold it down. I weave it under that first edge. Making sure those sides are nice and firm against that card. And then I tuck this up under that first edge with my needle, except it doesn't want to go because it's so small. There we go, tuck that in, make sure that edge is firm, make sure that edge is firm. So all of my corners all fold in the same direction simultaneously, if that makes sense. Because you might not think so, but when you go to join them all together, it does make a difference. Every little mil adds up. Very cute. So you must be, as I said earlier, this must be incredibly boring watching me cut these out. There's another petite pan. Oh, that's cute too. Or in red. Or this one, look at this one. They're a bit, I think I'll lose the effect if I fussy cut these ones, because they're sort of stippled. Okay. What about, no, that won't work, they're too big. I think this is probably too big too. I'll just end up with a I might try that. I wonder what that will look like. I'm not sure if it will hold though, because it's a bit quite open weave, this. Let's have a look. I'm loving this template. I'm just cutting this on my lap again, guys. It's easy for me to see and control the scissors. Oh, there's a brown one, a mustard brown one I just spotted on this piece of fabric, a flower. Mustard yellowy sort of. I don't know if these will work. It's a big print. And of course the mustard one's tucked right in, nowhere near the edge. No, I won't go for that one yet. Let's have a look at this so far, hey? See if this will... I'm not going to get the whole flower in obviously, but I might get a bit of an effect at least, which might... I'm curious to see how it will look. The tricky bit with these little ones is trying to use the template to fussy cut, but then trying to center these exactly where you cut it from can be quite the challenge. It looks like you've got it centered, but then when you stitch it together, like that one for example, it's not centered. Okay, I need a bit more cotton. I'm just using a Gutermann cotton. I like to use cotton. I like to use top stitch in a lot of things, not this, it's too chunky, but I'm nearly out of top stitch. I need to get some more. I like to use the Gutermann cotton when I'm stitching quilts, usually, on the machine. Okay, let's see how this goes. This fabric is thicker than I realised, so I'm not sure if this will work. It's cotton, but it's quite... See, look, I'm not going to get nice crisp points because it's so chunky. Might be okay on bigger hexagons, but wow, that's getting very chunky. there's a lot of, I mean, it's only 2 layers on, well, it ends up being 4, isn't it, by the time it's folded. There's a lot of bulk happening in the back here. I keep feeling there's a slight breeze, and it's bizarre because the little bit that just brushed over me then was cool, but then the next one is really warm. There must be like thermals, I suppose. I don't know what you call them. Not that you really get thermals on the ground without. Don't know what I think of that one. It worked, I guess, but see, we don't have nice crisp points because the fabric's so bulky. And there's a lot of bulk in the back here as well. But I guess technically it did work. This is going to be the same issue because it's the same fabric. Just too bulky for these little hexagons. I think we're supposed, the forecast is for rain for the rest of the week, which will be good. We need it, that's for sure. But it also said rain last week, and I think we got one shower that lasted about 60 seconds, and that was it. So it had evaporated before it even hit the ground. This is tricky, it's a bit bulky. Okay, nice and tight. Oops, caught my pinky in it. Nice and tight again. It's very difficult to get these edges nice and tight with this bulky fabric. There we go, there's that mustardy colour. You see, I don't know if you can see through the monitor there, but the petite pan fabric, which is a lovely quality fabric, next to this one, which is the bulky one, I don't know if it's actually picking it up there for you, but in theory these would not stitch together well because of the bulk of these fabrics. Those edges are longer than the finer fabric, so it will become problematic if you stitch a few together. The edges won't match up. So I can either sew some together to make little pages or whatnot, or do something like I've done here and just stitch a hexagon here or there. See, there's a bit of a rust stain there. Potentially I could cover that with one if I'm worried about it. That could be a bit harsh having the black on there. There's all sorts of things you could do with them. You can even do something like, oh, they're joined together, but stitch one onto a puff. Oh, bugger, sorry about that. Lots of things we can do with them. So there we go. I did do one, it's inside. I did one a couple of months ago. I actually stitched it while I was waiting in the waiting room, and I did it out of some of this. Some of this linen with the stitches on it, but again it was like this one. It was actually worse. It was that chunky it wouldn't wrap around the hexagon. That's another page I was going to put in one of my needle books. I don't know what else I can show you today. It's been a bit ordinary, hasn't it? I haven't had much. I haven't really shown you much, I don't think. Anything else you'd like me to show you before I finish this live today? Let me know. Leave me a comment. Anything you'd like me to clarify or show you before we finish up today? Nothing? Anything? I'm not getting very far with these bloody needle books, am I? I just had an idea. Didn't think of that one. Okay. These two. I've got this beautiful hand-dyed wool that I've had for quite a few years. I just realised I think it would look really good in one of these. Oh yeah, I like that. Well, that's a start for that one. Maybe I should do some more on these ones, get them going, hey? What do you think? Just tighten these edges up a bit. I've had a few people interested in these ones, so I probably really should be getting them done. There's been a lot of interest in these actually, these two. Complete with dog hair. So we were told one of the reasons that my son chose, one of the many reasons my son chose a Great Dane for me was because we were told that they're non-shedding. That is not true. I think she sheds more than our Labrador. And if you know Labradors are horrendous shedders because they're double coated and they lose their insulating coat quite regularly. But I think bloody Great Danes are even worse. The amount of hair, honestly, I could make a whole other dog with the hair that she loses. What can I line that with? Oh. Yeah, not sure about that. That's a pure wool. It's not going to work. It's not. Might work. It's not big enough. It might go in it though. Piece of linen. I'm starting to, I was going to say I might line this with Doctor's Funnel, but then if I line it, what happens, which is not what I wanted to achieve, so I think I'm going to line it with another fabric because this orange one, I lined it with Doctor's Funnel, but then by the time I put the pocket in, there's not much wool exposed for you to stick your needles in. Bloody dog hair, honestly. I sit there for hours picking it all out, and then every time I open it, it's there again. So I don't want, after all that, I don't want to line this with wool. Like this. I don't know if this will work. It might be too much. Trying to find an edge. Some vintage floral. I'm not convinced I like that one yet. Maybe just linen. Bit of vintage linen that's been repaired. That one, it goes well in there actually. Maybe something like that. What do you think? Let me know. Let me know what I should line these two with. A piece of chunky coloured vintage linen, or a piece of white linen, off-white linen. Here's a piece. It's got bloody marks on it too. This linen. Something like that. That'd work actually, that white linen. Or I think this is too much to start with. Something like that. Yeah, not fussed on that one. Or what else have we got? Oh, decisions. So far I'm liking the white linen, I think. There's a liner. Because, don't forget, I'm likely going to cover the most of that with a pocket. I've also got, I forgot about this, I got it out to show you. Hopping back to this one again. Back to this orange one. Again, I'm still not sure about that. I've also got, I crocheted this hanky to put in it, but I've also got this hanky. So, I'd like you guys to let me know, should I use this hanky in this orange needle book? I do like that. Or this one I crocheted. Should I use that hanky in this needle book? Let me know what you think. The orange floral, orange and brown floral, or the crochet edge? I've been hanging on to this one for so long for just the right project. And I think it's going to be the one, to be honest. I quite like that in that needle book. Look at that. How good's that? That just fits, doesn't it? I think I like that one. I'll leave them both in there for now. Okay. Back to this one. I've got thread everywhere, of course. I've soaked this and the marks came out of it, but has anyone else ever found this? Most of the marks come out right, can't see them anywhere. And then a few days to a week later, some of them reappear. Has anyone else had that happen? Or am I doing something wrong? I'm not hanging them in the sun to dry, which might be part of the issue. I'd like to keep that rough edge there somehow in this one. I think that would be cool. That's not, oh yes it will. I'll soak that again and see if I can get those marks out. I think that will be a good start for that one. And I'll get the lining for both of those out of that piece. So there's those two started. Oh, there's those bloody fabrics I was looking for earlier. I'm going to put these tiny little hexagons in my pouch so I'm less likely to lose them. Right. Well, I know I've said it before, but I think I will end this video, pack up this and come back a bit later, maybe half an hour or so, go and get another cup of coffee, get something for lunch and come back and do some watercolour painting. So if you're interested to see how I paint my little hearts, it's nothing exciting. Come back in half an hour or so and I will do some painting. How does that sound? I'm not sure how many quilters and stitchers do painting as well. Sometimes you find you either do one or the other, not both. I tend to do a bit of everything. I do jewellery making as well, which I haven't done for a while because I need to get more materials. I need some more silver. I'm just folding up my fabrics if you're wondering what I'm doing. And for some reason I can't fold. Okay. Well, that's a funny way I folded that. I'm going to stick these in that little pouch too, I think. No, it won't fit. There's some lace. There's some bits. I did do, I don't think I showed you, I hand dyed some wool to put in my purple needle book, which I haven't gotten to yet. I probably should do some more dyeing to match them a bit better. It's I just can't be bothered dealing with the mess. This is something else. I dyed some neon lace to use. Oh, it's more of those fabrics I was after. Got bits spread everywhere. I probably should be doing these on the table in front of you so you can see what I'm doing. Here's another bit of that lace I dyed. Same as the orange one. I'm just organising this pile, which will go back in my little folder here. My EPP folder that I tend to put everything else in as well. These are just bits that I've been playing with for these needle books. Still haven't really decided on any. I've started doing a needle woven edge around this piece of doctor's flannel. I think I've shown you this before. It's basically just a blanket stitch. I don't know if this is an actual stitch. I sort of just made it up. If it is an actual stitch, maybe I have seen it somewhere. But I just wanted like a little crab stitch, but done with a needle, so it's not done the same way, but you get a similar effect. So you do your blanket stitch, and then I come back through that stitch I've just done, and essentially I'm doing another blanket stitch in the blanket stitch, and then I go back in that same spot again, so you get a little knotted edge, a decorative. Bloody thing won't focus. Don't know why this one got a bit untidy. So again, we do our blanket stitch, and then come back in that stitch we've just done. And then over the top of that again. So you want to make sure your needle's going through the loop. You want that thread to go behind your needle, just like you do with a blanket stitch. And you create a little knotted edge. I'm just using vintage crochet cotton, variegated cotton. Oops, Madam's worked out how to open the screen door, or I haven't latched it properly. I have no idea, as I said, if this is a stitch or what it is called. I've been calling it I think a double reverse blanket stitch or something. No, double knotted blanket stitch, I've been calling it. A double knotted blanket stitch. It just makes a nice, neat little, I say neat, but I don't know what happened back there. A nice little decorative edge. especially if you don't have the like I said, I like a crab stitch, or some people call it a backwards crochet stitch, and sometimes it's not necessarily convenient to do stick the crochet hook through the fabric, you know, if it doesn't have the perforated holes. So I use a needle instead, and this gives a similar sort of effect. Oops, I've just made a knot there that I don't want. There we go. So, as I mentioned, I call this a double knotted blanket stitch. Again, no idea if it's a thing, if it is already an existing stitch. I'm sure someone would have thought of it before I have. But it just makes a nice little edging stitch. And I apologise if you're commenting. I'm too busy concentrating on my stitching. I've just noticed there's quite a few more people watching now, and I was just going to start packing up. I might still do that. I'll go and pack this away, get another cup of coffee, grab something for lunch quickly, and come back in half an hour or so and do some watercolour painting. How's that sound? I'm getting a bit, I feel like I just need to do a little bit of painting. So if you're interested in joining me again, keep an eye out. I'll be back. I'll be back today, shortly. And I don't know if you've noticed, I'm not paying attention. I was too busy trying to see what was being written, and I missed it. I apologise. And my little knots have gotten a bit winky wonky. The thread is over energized too. It's twisted, so I need to untwist that. That doesn't help. You've got to keep it untwisted to get the nice neat knotted edge. So there we go, that's that for now. I'll finish packing this away. I might come back and just do a brief tutorial on that double knotted blanket stitch. So in future, if you want to see it, you can just go and look that up instead of watching the whole video again. These are just bits I grabbed out this morning to put in see if they'll work in the Needlebooks. And my little oops, that's all come undone now. My little EPP folder that I bought second hand that somebody local made. The lady who made it actually saw it in one of my YouTube videos, which I thought was very cool. I don't know if she's seen my response yet, but I did respond to her. I try to keep all these cottons in a box together, but I've been using them, so at the moment there's some of them spread around a bit. Okay, so I just put all these bits in here for now. These are all the bits I'm using for the Needlebooks at the moment. Instead of digging them out every day, I'm getting a bit of a big collection happening though. I'm just keeping them in this folder for now. Oops, it's fallen off the table. This poor folder. And then here's the actual needlebooky bits. So I just wrap it up in this poor folder that's absolutely chock-a-block to the brim. Put that away. I've got everything in bags and boxes here at the moment because that's the easiest way for me to drag everything outside here each day. But then I've got to pack it all up again and it gets quite time consuming. I think it takes me just as long to bring everything out and pack it away as it does to actually show you what I'm doing each time. I'm a goose, I haven't taken any photos to put on the header. I'll have to try and find something else. I've packed everything away now. So, I'm going to sign off for now, guys. I'll be back in half an hour or so. Thank you once again for joining me. As I mentioned, if there's anything you'd like me to show you, to clarify, any tutorials you'd like me to do, let me know in the comments. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. It will help me to do more videos. As I've explained, at the moment, the way my poor phone is, the back plate and the lens cover keep falling off in this heat. The glue, it's just so hot and the glue's all dissolved and the poor thing, it's overheating and all sorts of things are happening to it. It's nearly 6 years old, this phone now, but anyway, I was just waiting for that car to go. Because of the condition my phone's in, I can't pre-record and then edit and upload. It just cuts out after a minute or two. Sometimes I don't even get a minute's worth of recording. So that's why I do the lives and upload those. It's working so far. But because I have less than 500 followers, I'm limited to how many videos I can upload. So I'd love it if you would subscribe and become a follower and let your friends know. That'd be great too, because that will enable me to do more videos to share. And as I've mentioned before, I'm planning on doing some actual tutorials this year that I can upload. I will organise those into folders. I've tried to do that so far, but some of them are getting a bit higgledy-piggledy, so I'll go back and do that. I thank you once again for being here. I hope you're having a good day, and I will be back later today and do some watercolour paintings, so keep an eye out in half an hour or so. It might take me a bit longer than half an hour. By the time I make a cup of coffee, bring out the watercolour, set it all up, take the dog out for a toilet break, clean her up a bit because she's in season. She's got her panties on and her liners, but every time I take her out for a toilet break, I clean her up, give her a bit of a wash, make sure she's happy and comfortable, grab some lunch and whatnot, and then I'll be back. So we'll say half an hour to an hour's time, I'll come back and do some painting. Until then, I'll see you later. Yeah, see you soon.